that was slow of speech, the man that didn't have all his words together, the man that was stammering and missing it all the time, the New Testament declares that this same man was mighty in words. What am I saying? Our perception of ourselves oftentimes is the furthest away from what God's perception is of us. Our perception, the fact that I know I only finished, whatever, third grade. That's the only education I got. That's it. I'm done. And because I know that, I'm going to let that handicap me. But God says, if I called you, don't you think I knew before I called you what level of education you had? Don't you think I knew before I called you what level of experience you had? Don't you think I knew before I called you the mistakes you were going to make along the way? Don't you think I knew before I called you the fact that you were going to be abused, mistreated, run through the mud? Don't you think I saw all that before I called you? And if I saw that and still called you, apparently there's a purpose to why I'm calling you. There is a people that have been designed through history just for you. A people that's got to hear the voice of Akasha, soon to be Jenkins, share, whether it's open word, closed word, or the spoken word, or the preached word. The fact of the matter is, she's got to reach that people. Well, God, I don't, let me just record it and play it, and I'll show up. God said, no, I need you on the stage. I want the lights to be on you. I want 10,000 sets of eyes to be looking at you. And I want you to be able to somehow ignore 10,000 sets of eyes and see one set, which is mine. Wow. But God, I get nervous. Don't you think I knew you get nervous before I called you? Oh God, I got a lot going on. Don't you think I knew you had a lot going on before I called you? I got these kids, God, and don't you think I knew you had the kids stepping in before I called you?
Bless them, Lord. Bless them. Bless them.
Okay, so the mouth. We saw the picture of the mouth. All right, let's look at the eyes. Look at the eyes. Okay, victory that comes by what it is that we see. Let's look at Numbers. Still dealing with Moses. Numbers chapter 21. Numbers chapter 21. Numbers chapter 21. Verses 4 through 9. Numbers 21. 4 through 9. Children of Israel all over the place again, as they normally are. And they've been just doing crazy stuff. So now God sends some judgment on their life. How do I get victory? Through my eyes. Here it is. Numbers chapter 21, verses 4 through 9. The word of the Lord says this, and they journeyed from Mount Hor by the way of the Red Sea to compass the land of Edom. And the soul of the people was much discouraged because of the way. And the people spake against God and against Moses. Wherefore have you brought us up out of Egypt to die in the wilderness? For there is no bread, neither is there any water, and our soul loatheth this light bread. And the Lord sent fiery serpents among the people, and they bit the people, and much people of Israel died. Therefore the people came to Moses and said, we need victory. They said, we have sinned, for we have spoken against the Lord and against thee. Pray unto the Lord that he take away the serpents from us. And Moses prayed for the people. And the Lord said unto Moses, make thee a fiery serpent, and set it upon a pole. And it shall come to pass that everyone that is bitten, when he looketh upon it, shall live. And Moses made a serpent of brass, put it upon a pole. It came to pass that if a serpent had bitten any man, when he beheld or looked upon the serpent of brass, he lived. Victory came at this point, not because they knew how to worship the Lord, Minister Black. Victory didn't come from a sound they were making. Victory came by what they saw. What is the pastor trying to teach us tonight? We've got to be careful. This is really taking a little bit of a turn, but we've got to be careful about what it is we're seeing. Okay. I grew up in a time where adults took being an adult serious. I grew up in a time where if there were 4 adults, 3 adults, or 2 adults in a room talking. I grew up at the time where you had to leave the room because this was what they call grown folk conversation. And even if I would conjure up the nerve and try to find my way back to where they were. In my mind, I've already said when I get challenged, I'm gonna say I'm just going to get something to drink. I'm just hungry, Mama. I'm just trying to get something, and believing that I can pull on the strands of Mama's heart. Let me come into the kitchen to eat, so that I can eavesdrop on what it is that the adults are saying. What is Pastor saying? When in that time, adults said, because this is an adult space, regardless if what we're doing is adult or no, you're not welcome here. And because they did that, Sister Foster, the design behind that was to shield us from adult issues in a child's ear. Because if my ears or eyes are not mature to handle what I'm seeing or hearing, I could end up doing things that my body can't handle me doing yet. I'm trying to help us here today. But we as the people of God always want to be in grown folk conversation. And we're seeing and hearing stuff about other folk that we ought not even be in. But because we don't know how to excuse ourselves from grown folk conversation, we're picking up things in our eyes that's hindering our bodies from going forward. What are you talking about, preacher? Oh, I'll help you real good. You know, Pastor, sometimes folks, Sister Foster, they got little stuff they deal with, during the week, and they'll call Pastor, or they see Pastor tonight, they may come to Pastor and try to share something with me in our own space, right? So it's Elder Bertram, I'll be over here, intentionally with my back to everybody else, and I'm talking to the brother, but because folk want to be in grown folk conversation, they peeping, looking around the corner. Wonder what Pastor talking to Minister Black about this time. You probably forgot to do something again. Girl, Pastor be busting Minister Black. And so now, your youthful eyes and ears are tainted by something you perceive that really you shouldn't even have been in. Help me, Jesus. I might be trying to help the man to say, you know what, man, we need to get such and such done for the church tomorrow. But because your young eyes and ears are attached to grown folk conversation, you got stuff hindering you. You now think, Pastor always so hard on Mr. Black. I can't stand Pastor acting like that to a minute. So now you got issue toward me because you as a child saw something you shouldn't have seen.
My God. Heavy. Good. It's heavy.
So now, not even understanding the relationship, the input, the conversation, you got this whole perception about Pastor relative to Minister Black. So then when Pastor sting Minister Black one time, that really just throws you all off because the young eyes and ears saw me dealing with Black in the corner. All in the church. But we don't value that things that are not geared to me, I shouldn't be in. Things that don't pertain to me, I need to ignore. But because I'm seeing D more than what I can handle right now, it taints my body from going forward. So now you say, I don't never want to be a minister at Belleville Faith Church and Pastor busting Minister Black like that all the time. I don't ever want him to call me nothing. If I got to deal with what he deal with Minister Black all the time, that's because you're looking from young ears. You're looking from young eyes.
That's right.
You don't even understand the relationship. You don't even understand what God trying to take this man. So you're right. You'll never be what he's trying to become. Because that's not your call. So you don't have to ever be dealing with you like that. Okay. Jesus, help me tonight. Burris, pray for me over there, sir. All right. So we get victory through our eyes. So what they were able to see, they looked up, and the Bible says they lived. Let me give this last one, I'm out your way. With the hand, relative to the hand. Let's look at Exodus chapter 14. Victory coming through the hand. going back to Moses, Exodus 14. I'm shutting it down right here, Exodus 14, verses 14 and 15. Now, we've seen victory. Moses got victory through his mouth because it was in fact that God says he would be Moses' mouth. He would be as Moses' mouth and speak for him. We see the children of Israel and those in the wilderness got victory through the eyes because in fact they were able to see. They looked upon the serpent of brass and they were able to see. Now, looking at the hand, sensing victory through the hand. All right, Exodus chapter 14, verses 13 and 14. Let's start 14. I'll start 14 and 14 says this. The Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. And the Lord said unto Moses, wherefore criest thou unto me? Why are you using words looking for victory right now? Because that's not where victory is coming from. Speaking to the children of Israel, that they go forth. And he says this, but lift thou up thy rod, and stretch out thine hand over the sea, and divide it. And the children of Israel shall go on dry ground through the midst of the sea. What is God showing us here? He says that they attempted to get victory by what their words were. They said, well, we realize, Lord, you know, if we learn how to give you thanks, we've gotten victory in the past. If we learn how to, in fact, you know, use our eyes and behold things, we've gotten victory in the past. God says, I'm not going to show you victory that way this time. This time, I'm going to show you victory through the outstretching of the hand. So God tells Moses, he says, you don't have to talk to me. You don't even have to praise me right now. You don't even have to speak to the situation. The only thing you've got to do is extend your hands. And when you extend your hands are going to do the talking for you. When you extend your hands are going to cause the waters to open up so that the children of Israel can walk through. So we identify that God says, or God is showing us tonight, that victory comes through various ways. Don't put God in a box to say that because I got my last victory by my praise, that I'm going to always get a victory by my audible praise. Nope. Sometimes the victory is going to come through my eyes. Sometimes the victory is going to come through my hands. But all of this is centered around the fact that it's done through Jesus Christ. Okay, last thing I'm going to say, then I'm out here for real. Let's look at Ephesians chapter 1. I think I got two scriptures. Ephesians chapter 1, verse 18. Then I'm going to look at 1 John 5 and 4. Then I'm going to shut down and ask if there are any questions, and we'll proceed from there. Ephesians chapter 1, verse 18. Then I'm going to do 1 John 5 and 4. Okay, finishing off, I sense victory. Ephesians 1:18 says, the eyes of your understanding being enlightened, that ye may know what is the hope of his calling, what the riches of the glory of his inheritance in the saints. Now, let's look at this 2 minutes and I'm out. The eyes of our understanding being enlightened. That means that what we're seeing, we talked about victory through our eyes have to be enlightened. Enlightenment simply means your eyes have to be changed and exposed to light. When eyes have been exposed to light, it makes darkness darker. Say that again. When eyes have been exposed to light, it makes darkness darker. If you go now and you just, even with these low voltage bulbs and all this other stuff, you look at them long enough and then you close your eyes tight enough, you'll start seeing such a darkness that there may be a hue or a spot of red that may even kind of like be flickering, because it's trying to translate how you've just gone from the pureness of a light to the depths of darkness. What is Pastor saying? That when I've tasted, Tony Jr., of the goodness of the Lord, when I've gotten to a place in God where he and I really commune with each other, if darkness were to show up in my life, it would be so evident that the darkness would be exposed to others just because my light would be dimmer. When I've been, Sister Lipscomb, in the presence of God, and he and I have been communing, he's been shining on me, I've been talking to him, I feel like I can conquer a mountain, I can tackle a lion, I can do all these great things. If darkness showed up in my life, people would say something's wrong with Pastor Hinton because I'm seeing his life then. I'm seeing, he's not as bubbly today. He's not illuminating today. There must be something that he's dealing with. And it could just be, Diavion, that I'm tired today. But because the light isn't shining like it's supposed to, and your eyes have been enlightened to the light, it makes the darkness magnified. And that's why Minister Williams said some folk, I pray that it gets better, but some folk really, especially when they're in their mess, they don't really want to be too close to Pastor Hinton because they're going to say, Pastor Hinton might say something to me. I really don't feel like everybody knows it. It's true. So I'm going to probably just stay away for a little bit. I'll come to church. I ain't necessarily sit in my same seat because he'll probably see me. So I'm going to hide, but I'm going to be in church, though. I'll sit in the balcony this week because, I don't really feel like this being exposed. Because if your eyes have been enlightened, it's not just that Pastor Hinton can see. We already know God can see, but your brothers and sisters can see. And they get the sense. Well, what's wrong with First Lady? Why she look a little off today? There must be something that has troubled her to throw off the illumination of who she is. All right, let me get off that. Last thing we need is this. 1 John 5:4. He says, he talks about overcoming the world. Whoso believeth and whoso born again. 1 John, what's 5:4? Whosoever is born of God overcometh the world. That's good. And this is the victory that overcometh the world, even our faith. So he says, out of all of this that we've heard tonight, relative to the sensing of victory, whether it be through our eyes, whether it be through, our mouth, or whether it be through our hands, the sensing of victory, he says the only way, Raquel, it really works is if I allow my faith to be activated. Okay? We are a faith church. We believe. We trust. We have confidence in God. So that means if the motto and the lingo and the stanza, if you will, of the church, the crux of the church, the flow of the church is predicated upon faith, you ought not be surprised that your faith is the thing that normally is challenged the most. Because if you say, I'm going to connect to a work that was established in faith, that means that there's going to be a constant trial to my faith just for me to be able to rest that I connected to the right place.
That's awesome.
So if your faith isn't challenged, you might be in the wrong church. I really thought, and I'm going on this one. This is my third close on Wednesday night. I really thought, Brother Williamson, Minister Williamson, when we stepped out and we said, God, we're going to go, we're going to trust you, we're going to believe you, we're going to do it. I really thought I'm just going to coast when I get there. Because, I showed God this kind of faith.
Yeah.
330-mile relocation to nothing, to no members, to no building, to no house, to no money. God, I know you must got a mansion set for me with millions of dollars.
Sure.
Because I'm showing you my faith. And the Lord just probably was sitting there having laughing and said, look at this dummy. And then when I get here, I realize, oh, this was just step one. There are actually more faith requirements. Yeah. And then I would say how much really it got, Elder Burson. Not only, son, do you got to have faith for you, you got to have for your people. So I said, God, you mean tell me that I came thinking I was going to be able to just coast and, have a couple of good brothers that's going to pay some good tithes and I would just be good. Good. God says, son, your requirement is that your faith has to be strong enough that when your people's faith get weak, your faith can pick them up.
That's awesome, sir. Wow.
So when you think you can have a bad day, help me, Jesus. When you think you can say, woe is me, and sit in the corner and cry and mope, that's when you got to pray for your people. Because if it's hitting you like that, imagine what they're going through. So I said, well, Lord, I ain't gonna say nothing else. I ain't gonna think no more that nothing is nothing. I'm just gonna trust you and go and do what you want me to do. He says, because the way you're gonna overcome continually, and the way you're gonna overcome continually, is through your faith. That means even when everything looks, sounds, and feels like no, you still gotta believe. When doors that you thought were literally wide open, all of a sudden get bolted and locked and keys thrown away, you got to still believe that if I led you there, I did it on purpose. I wouldn't lead you, I wouldn't send you, I wouldn't put you in position to succeed just for you to fail. I wouldn't open a door for you. Somebody need to catch this tonight. I wouldn't open a door for you just to close it in your face.
Amen.
If it wasn't for you, I would have closed it before it ever opened. If it didn't belong to you, I would have shut it down before you got invested. Our faith. That's what's going to be challenged. I mean, I don't know if that's encouraging. That's probably not a good membership recruitment type thing, because that's what you get with this church. You join this church, and all of a sudden you're going to see a challenge to your faith. I'm letting you know right now. So don't feel like, did I sin, Lord? Did I do something? Did I make the wrong move? No, you did the right thing. You're just in the right place. Welcome to the challenge. Join the club, you know. But the great news is, if we're willing to go through it with Him, the beauty of the other side of it is like mind-blowing. You know, the beauty of after this is what I'm looking for.
Yes, sir.
Amen.
Yes, sir.
Amen.
You know, the rejoicing of after this is what I'm looking for. But I understand in order to get to the after this, I got to go through this. Can't get to after without going through. So just know I'm going through. Y'all going through. We going through. But we going through.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we ain't going through. No, we going through.
Yes, sir.
Getting up out of here. On our way to better. All right, I'm done. Y'all put your hands together for Jesus tonight. Please.
All right.
Any questions, comments, criticisms?